First, I want to say thanks for watching. We are going to remove and replace a Kawasaki Z1000 front wheel. First, we're going to take our Allen wrench and we're going to take off our right caliper. An easy way to get that caliper off without damaging the wheel is give the caliper like a little twist on the rotor, and it'll separate those brake pads, and then that caliper will slide right off without touching the rim at all. So now we're going to jump over to the left side and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take out the Allen bolts that are holding that caliper on, and again we'll just give that caliper a little nudge to separate those brake pads apart, and it'll slide right off that rotor without touching the wheel. Once we have the caliper off, we want to loosen the pinch bolts. We're going to go ahead and do the left side first. The left side has the nut on it that goes into the axle. So we'll take our Allen wrench and we'll put it inside the nut and we'll break it free. Easy enough. And then we'll go ahead and we'll just work that nut out. Next, we're going to break loose the cinch bolts on the right side. We'll finish taking that nut all the way out. You saw I gave that nut just a little tap to push the axle through. So with the axle through, I can put my foot under the tire and take the weight off the wheel, pull the axle out, and then the wheel should just drop down. Then you want to put the right spacer on the right side, the left spacer on the left side, and it's time to change out the tire. We've got a new tire on there. These are the Michelin Pilot Power 3s. So I cleaned off the spacers for the left and right side. Now I'm adding a little marine grease to the seals. And you want to wipe your axle clean and get your axle nice and clean, and then put a very light coat of grease on your axle shaft. It makes it a lot easier to pull that axle shaft out next time. So now that I have my axle shaft all the way in, I'm going to take the axle nut on the left hand side and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tighten that down as tight as I can get it, because that'll bring that axle home in the fork and it'll align everything up. So now I'm going to tighten down the cinch bolts on the right side first. And with the right side tightened down, then I can go back and I can tighten down my axle nut on the left side. So here we're going to go ahead and we're going to put our caliper back on. This particular bike didn't have the proper spacers. These are aftermarket forks. He hasn't had the spacers made yet for the calipers, so there's about 4 washers that are being used as spacers. Makes it kind of difficult, but it can be done. Alright, so I had already tightened down the cinch bolts on the right hand side of the bike. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tighten down the axle nut and make sure that it's in there good and tight. And then I'll tighten down the cinch bolts on the left hand side. Again, with the brake caliper, I have to put the 4 washers in place and get the caliper bolt to fish through them. I get the bottom lined up and then I'll do the top.
Set of those on Thursday for a guy, and I really didn't realize it until I was, actually handling it and fighting it onto the wheel. I was like, man, this is a pretty hard carcass right there.
So the last thing you want to do once you get the wheel on is pump those brakes. Hope you've enjoyed the video and watched some of my others. Thank you.